Good morning. Welcome to the Saturday live stream. Today is Saturday, July 11th. How's it going? My name is Angela. I am a front-end developer and a software engineer in St. Paul, Minnesota. On this channel, we just practice vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I would never say that you don't need a framework or a library to be a working front-end developer. You also need to know vanilla. You need to know the three things that the browser renders natively, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Pick a framework. I don't care which one. Pick a framework. Let's be honest, React. React is probably the one you need to learn these days. At my last job, we did Vue. We did everything with Vue. Yeah, just pick a framework. Probably if you know one framework, the other ones will catch on fairly easily. But you also need to know vanilla. I can just tell you from my own experience, I've been doing this 13 years. I have worked in many agencies and organizations with legacy code. And let me tell you, when you're a junior or a new developer in an agency, you're going to get the backlog. You're going to get the things that are important enough to sit in the backlog, but not important enough to spend time handing off to a senior dev. They save that for the juniors and the new people because it's still important, but it's not so important that you're going to ruin anything. And it's almost always legacy code. I'm just here to tell you. So, and you know what else? I just genuinely enjoy practicing vanilla. I'm thinking so much lately about these conversations that we're having about AI. My own personal point of view on AI has changed pretty dramatically. It feels dramatic over the last few weeks, really the last few months. I have always liked AI, always. So I started using ChatGPT in the fall of 2023. It was a little clunky, but I'll be honest, for the last couple of years it's been a copy paste exercise for me. I know at one point ChatGPT had sort of like a built-in code editor, and I'm talking about the browser, not Codex, not the app, just the browser. That was very clunky. That was not a smooth experience. I mean, it helped me a little bit, but I was like, I don't like this. You're making this worse. So it's been a copy paste exercise for me. I did try VS Code at one point. I didn't enjoy it. Or excuse me, GitHub Copilot in VS Code. I did not enjoy that. I ended up turning that off after a couple of days because it drove me crazy. I didn't like the autocomplete. So I've kept ChatGPT in the background as sort of a explain why this isn't working, or teach me this concept, or help me practice this thing that I don't quite understand. That's how I've been using it. I feel like this is a 2026 thing. I started to hear the phrase agentic AI, and I didn't exactly know what that meant, but I also was fine with the workflow that I had. So then I recorded some videos talking about just being a developer, maybe feeling left behind, how my perspective has changed. And I don't think you can record, I don't think you can even have that conversation without bringing up AI as a developer. It's such an important part of the conversation. I don't know how you can leave it out. So those videos weren't specifically meant to be about AI. It was more me talking about my own career and my own feelings towards development. And I don't know how I could leave AI out of that conversation. But through the comment section of those videos, overwhelmingly positive, but and a few snarky comments, a lot of people really pointed out to me, my takeaway was that I was not on top of what is happening in AI. This is no longer a copy and paste exercise. And I was like, okay, fair. Let's figure this out. I also happened to be working on a big contract where I was moving some legacy code, updating some legacy code from one decade old platform to a much newer platform. And I knew that I could do it by hand, but I was like, I don't need to do this by hand. There's no requirement from this client that I do this by hand. In fact, the client is all in on AI. So I think that I need to use Codex. I need to figure out agentic AI. It didn't take long. it was brilliant. I loved it. So I don't want to minimize the experience that other developers are having been replaced by AI. I obviously think that that's awful. I don't think I think it's awful to have somebody come into my comment section and tell me a story about the years that they devoted to an organization only to be replaced by AI. That's obviously heartbreaking. I don't want to see that happen to anybody. But it also seems very, very clear to me that how we work is changing. Humans still very much need to be doing this work, but the tools are changing. It's going to take fewer humans. And this coincides with the overhiring that took place during COVID. So I think that there's two things happening at once. Tech companies and organizations who employ a large number of tech people overhired, and they are self-correcting. I think that would happen even if AI didn't exist, as it currently does. I do think that that would happen. But because AI is also happening at the same time, maybe they're related, there's clearly overlap. It really is sort of making it look like AI is replacing people. And really, I think that tech companies, I just think that two things are happening at the same time, but that there is obviously overlap. That's my observation. That's my takeaway from what I see happening. So I don't think AI is going to replace all developers. I think that more opportunities for developers will open up because it won't just be about the code. But I also don't think that software engineering was ever just about the code. As a primarily web developer, front end developer, I've always said that this job was part coding, parts BA. I am sorry. Every job I've had, no, I'm not sorry. Every job I've had as a front end developer, I have always kind of been my own business analyst, my own requirements gatherer. I am given tasks and I'm given things to do, obviously. But there's always been an expectation, with a couple of exceptions, there's almost always been an expectation that I am doing the additional requirements gathering, that I'm asking questions, that I'm reaching out to the right people if I have questions, I'm presenting deliverables. I'm basically not sitting in the corner completing tasks. Now, I have had agency jobs where that was absolutely my job. In fact, at my first job ever as a front-end developer, I was told in very clear terms, I quote, "Your life would be so easy if you would just do what you were told." So this was somebody who absolutely did not want me asking questions, certainly not doing any requirements gathering, and just wanted me to keep my mouth shut and do what I was told. That's clearly not the job that I should be in. I need to be in positions where there's an expectation that I'm asking questions and doing additional requirements gathering. And that was why the University of St. Thomas was such a good fit for me for 7 years, because my boss there, she absolutely needed me to do that. And it prepared me very well for freelance work and working with clients. And so my point is, that is the future of software engineering and development, in my opinion, that we will need more people to manage the output for agentic AI, but we will also, those developers will need to play kind of that larger role of requirements gathering, doing a little BA work, right? That's how I see it. I'm here for it. I was very much at a point in my career right before AI where I was having these conversations where I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready for leadership roles, because I don't think I want to sit and just code all day or do these deep dives into really complex coding problem solving. Like, I'm kind of over that. I'm ready to move past that. I still love to code, and I scratch that itch because I have a YouTube channel where I mostly do vanilla HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Now, I've also had people come into my comments and tell me, I had one commenter come in and tell me that I was going to single-handedly set back development because I was using a 16-year-old tech stack. That's not the point. That's not the point. Number one, I do it because I enjoy it. And number two, it's literally the three things that the browser renders: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And there is no shame in knowing those things and being good at those things. So I still find that balance between my personal and my professional. In my professional life, I am happy to use agentic AI. It is incredible. It allows me, especially as a freelancer and a consultant, to take on things that are more complex, things that I just would not be able to do if I had to do all that coding from scratch. It reduces the stress of a lot of really complex problem solving, and it allows me to really be focused on my clients and the deliverables and understanding the requirements. I don't know, I just really love it. And then the personal side of that, how I balance that, is through this channel where I build these fun little vanilla landing pages, and I keep my UI skills fresh, and I build these vanilla apps. It's really fun. I love it. So I feel like I'm at a point in my career after 13 years where I've kind of found this balance, and I'm here for it. I really enjoy it. So I don't know. These were just some thoughts that I've been having, and I really wanted to share them with you. So there's that. With that being said, there's some folks in the chat. I don't have my chat ready yet. Hang on. Uno momento. Let me get this ready so we can say good morning to some people. Where are we here? Thank you for being here also. I appreciate you. There we go. And there we go. Okay. Go Elmo. Malik Robinson is here. Malik is our mod in the chat. He keeps an eye on you. He keeps an eye on me. He keeps us all focused and on the straight and narrow. He tells me when I'm muted. He tells me when it's been 2 hours and I need to take a break and stretch my legs and get something to drink. He is amazing. So you better be nice to him, okay? Let me see here. I have a question. I'm so sorry. I'm having trouble with some of the usernames. Ikisham, am I saying that correctly? YouTube used to have display names. Now they several months ago went back to usernames, making it very difficult for me. Where do you work, ma'am? I am a freelancer and a consultant. So self-employed. I used to be a developer at the University of St. Thomas here in St. Paul, Minnesota. I've done a lot of agency work. I also lived in San Diego for a couple of years. That's where I started my career as a developer. And yeah, I really started doing agency work, but I've also gone back and forth from being having a full-time job and freelancing. My longest stretch freelancing was a couple of years. Yeah, so right now you're looking at it, self-employed, content creator, freelancer, consultant. And Malik said, yeah, she is a freelance developer who is front-end focused. She is based in Minnesota. Maverican is here. Greetings from Brazil. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Do me a favor if you haven't already. Would you be so kind as to like this video, subscribe if you're new here. I would love to have you. I am here on Saturdays and Sundays at about 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We were running a few minutes late this morning. It's kind of the norm here. Yeah, I'm here for sure on Saturdays and Sundays. I did a stream on Friday. I used to do Tuesday, Thursdays as well. And I decided not to stay attached to those 2 days. Well, at the time I had some client work, which is concluded. And I was thinking, should I add Tuesdays and Thursdays back to the schedule? And I decided not to because I just don't want to be attached to a schedule. But I do occasionally stream more than just Saturdays and Sundays. I think Friday at noon might become a regular thing, and I would like to start adding an extra day in there if I can. We'll see. I'm going to play it by ear. So it's not all going to be a hard and fast schedule. My commitment, and I was talking to Malik Robinson, Go Elmo, about this earlier this week, is I'm just going to try to be committed to at least 24 hours notice if I do decide to go live extra during the week. So, and you know what? While we're here, if you're on Instagram, why don't you give me a follow? I'm on Instagram a lot. I hang out over there. I'm a doom scroller. I love reels. Come follow me. Angela J. Holden is my handle. I actually have LinkedIn and Instagram linked in the description. I don't spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. I grudgingly maintain a profile there because I do understand that it's important for professional reasons. I honestly just don't enjoy the platform there. There's just no way, I'm just done fighting it. I don't like it. I understand why I need to have a presence there. I don't like it though. Same with X. I'm not going to force myself to post on X anymore because I just don't like it. But I also understand why it's important to have a profile there. And you know what X is great for? Like, I feel like if something happens, like I think COVID, and we had a lot of riots in Minneapolis and St. Paul that summer of 2020. We don't need to go into the details. There was a lot happening in the Twin Cities for a few weeks there. X, or I suppose it was Twitter at the time, was a great place to be because I could get information about things that were happening, for example, in downtown St. Paul, that the media wasn't reporting on because they can't be everywhere all at once. But a lot of that information was on X. People were reporting things that were happening. So I was able to stay on top of it. So I find X to be really good for things that are just sort of happening locally that you, for whatever, well, I hate to I can't believe I'm saying this. I hate to criticize the mainstream media, even though we all know they suck. They can't be everywhere all at once. And if you want to know things that are going on, like really locally in your own community, X seems to be a really good place for that. If you can sift through all the garbage that's also happening on X. So that's why I keep that profile. That's why I keep both of those profiles, even though I don't particularly love either of those platforms. But I do. I love Instagram. I love lifestyle content. I think I am just so amazed at how easy it is, based on my mood, how easy it is to change the algorithm for Reels. It's pretty wild. Uh, I don't know. I have lots of examples. I'm not going to bore you with them. I just really enjoy it. So, and I've been saying this for months. I might finally do it. I'm going to start posting more content there. I think that there is an untapped, how do I say this? I love reaction content. I love reaction videos, and I posted a reaction video this week, and I have plans to make more. I'm going to film more this weekend. And most reaction content is from TikTok. And there's no question that TikTok is a gold mine of content. If you need reaction content, that's a great place to go. I'm not on TikTok. I'm just not on TikTok, okay? But I'm on Reels. And I see a lot of people obviously cross-posting. So what they post on TikTok, they also post on Reels. Okay, great. But there is a huge community of tech and developers on Instagram Reels as well. I don't know if they're cross-posting. I assume that they are. It doesn't even matter. They're there. They're on Reels. So one of the reasons, though, reaction channels tend not to use Reels is because it is very, very difficult to download Reels from Instagram. They just Meta makes that very difficult. Some you can, some you can't. I don't know. I think the creator can set those constraints. They just make it very difficult. TikTok, on the other hand, it's incredibly easy to download TikToks from that platform. So I thought, okay, well, if I'm not able to download these videos in order to make my reaction content, like what's my setup going to be? What's my system going to be? Because I just feel like there's so much content to react to on Reels, and I don't want to go to TikTok. I don't have the emotional energy for another platform right now. So I came up with a system. Again, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I came up with a system, and I feel like number one, I know tech reactions are not new, but I think that the format that I'm following is different than what other tech reaction people are doing, number one. And number two, I'm pretty much exclusively using Reels to do it. So I'm excited that I sort of figured this out and that I've successfully executed at least one video. And I'm really looking forward to making more of those. So if you're into that type of thing, you know, another reason to subscribe. Yeah, so there's that. Gosh, I'm talking a lot and we're like 23 minutes in. Thank you to the people who are still here and actually watching. This is where I work out all of my ideas and thoughts upon you fine people. So thank you for that. Okay, practice layouts. Here, we're almost done, folks. We're almost done. What did we do yesterday? What did we do yesterday? I remember it had something to do with filtering. Pagination, load more. That's what we did yesterday. So we definitely need to get some styling done. I think tomorrow's going to be our styling day because today we need to sort out what's happening in this sidebar. And I think that there's two things that I want to do today. And it's going to also involve some refactoring. So here's our projects.js, and this has like everything in it. Let's unfold these. Oh, and you know what? Give me 1 moment. Hold, please. Okay. Yesterday we got the load more, which is basically, it's kind of like pagination, sort of. We got the load more figured out, but we have this pretty gigantic projects.js file. It's got the functionality to add our click to load video, which is right here. It's got a function for all of the pagination. It's got the functions, for rendering the projects. And then it has, where are we here? And then it has this separate functionality for the filtering. I feel like there is an opportunity here to refactor this file. I'm still, my JavaScript skills over the last couple of months have gotten a lot better. And I'm still getting a sense after years of just throwing everything into one big main.js, still getting a sense of how to like refactor and make things a little more modular. I want to put my goal for the sidebar is to put 2 vertical videos in here, 2 shorts videos. And they need to be click to load. I'm not just going to load iframes on page load. I want those to load on click. But I don't want to repeat this add video, right? So here's like all of our render logic, and then we have our event listener. So this makes me think that this makes me feel like this function could be a module that gets imported into this function, right? So we would probably, I feel, let's do that. Let's pull that out first and make sure. Let's do the shorts first because it coincides with the refactoring. It's going to be a little bit different though, because the ID for the YouTube video came directly from our data, and the shorts is not going to be part of the data, right? Because our data is our JSON file. The JSON file has, not every video has it. Here, right here. The object that actually has a video associated with it is going to have a YouTube ID. And so as part of the function, I was just grabbing index 4 in the data because I knew which video I wanted. The video is a project, but it's also a video, and I knew which one I wanted to load as part of my projects. I just knew. I know from doing this on other sites, my own personal website, this functionality works beautifully for YouTube Shorts. It's exactly the same. It's just the styles and the CSS that are different to change the aspect ratio. That's all it is. So how can we reuse this function, not rely on the data, because yeah, all of this is going to rely on the data, right? So let's figure out what is going to rely on the data. So the article, no. The figure, no. The container, no. Okay. I'm already contradicting myself from 2 minutes ago. The button, no. The SVG, no. The image, yes, but only because of the ID and the title. We can get those two things. They don't have to come from the data. So maybe our data is just that we make our own object. Yeah, because this would take in this specific to projects.js. And then if we made a video.js, it would be add video, and we could just make our own data. See, this is why we talk it out. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Let's get this done first, then we'll do the counting thing with reduce. So I'm just going to call it video.js. How do we do this? I feel like we import. Well, first let's isolate this and get it successfully imported into projects.js. That's number one. And then we'll go from there. So we're gonna pull this out, but let's also do this. Add video. Time lapse. So this is what needs to happen if this gets pulled out, right? And we also have to import this, obviously. Oh, let's, we have to do our, export. It's not default, it's just going to be export function. Well, that would be this, right? Export function, add video. And then this would be, where do you import it? Do you import it up here? Hang on. Don't tell me. I think I do. I think I import it up here. So we're going to do import. Am I doing this wrong? Hang on. Do I have to do this inside here? Oh, it's not in it. It's just add video from video.js. I don't think this is supposed to be inside here. I think this is supposed to be here. And it's a sibling, so it's in the same folder. Right? Feels right to me. And then it gets initialized here. Only one way to find out. I mean, it's here. So that must have worked. What's happening in the console? Okay, that's the favicon. Yep, that works. Okay, good. Sorry if that was frustrating. Okay, cool. So now this is its own thing, which means we can create our own data and pass in whatever we want. And what do we actually need? All we need is here, we can just call this data, right? It can be called anything. No, time lapse is not defined. Let's call this, I don't want to call it time lapse anymore. We'll call it video data. We'll do this. Do we still have time lapse somewhere here? Yes. Ah, we'll do the same thing here. All right. Beautiful. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. This is like truly just a helper now. So So for this, I would actually make another module that is like sidebar. I think we could do one module for sidebar, and we could have our reduce functions and our shorts functions, right? I think that would actually be a good way to do it. And then we can just import this. And then in our sidebar module, we'll just make our own video data. The only thing that we need is a YouTube ID, a YouTube title. That's all we need is a YouTube underscore ID and a title. And we'll just make our own little object for that. Well, actually, it should probably be, I mean, we could just call add video twice. I was thinking that I should, for each this, I don't really want to. I don't think I need to. Okay, but we're getting there. Okay, good. This is good. This is the refactoring that I wanted to do. And this shortens up this. So this makes me think, should we do a little extra refactoring here? I feel like we definitely could. Like, here's our render projects. We could, I mean, I feel like we could, does it matter? I don't even know if it matters. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna, for now. So maybe we could, this needs to be global. So this could not move. I think this could definitely go into its own little function. Why not? So we'll say count slice.js. Or here we'll keep it consistent. Count slice.js. Let's make sure that this is count. This is here. Sliced data, comma, page. And then this can go here. And then we can also import this. Import. Count and slice data. Look at that. Wow, this is real refactoring. This is like getting organized. I love this. Kind of makes me feel like we could do this as well. So if there are people in the chat, if there are people watching right now who like tell me am I doing this right? I don't mean like technically right. I just mean as a best practice. Is this what people do? Tell me what you think. I would like to know what you think. Am I thinking about this the correct way? I feel like this could also be its own function, right? Render projects. Under projects.js. Export. So Maverick says probably is the way when you are refactoring or adapting a function. So I feel like that you're confirming that this is something that people do. This, I feel like this is just making this file feel so much more reasonable. And that maybe the load more and our event listener for the filter, these things are all just fine right here. Like this just feels like a more readable file. I feel like count and slice data probably maybe could have stayed. Like it's not like this is like maybe the deciding what needs its own file is kind of based on readability and what makes sense. And I feel like this definitely could stay here. So let's delete this. I feel like add video and render projects are the two things that can live on their own, especially add video because we need that for the sidebar. So I am happy with this. This makes sense to me. I don't think we need to add anything here. I think this also needs, does this also need the import for the video? Well, let's find out. Yes. Video is not defined. Hmm. Okay, so don't tell me. Okay. Yeah, that was definitely wrong. You don't know till you try, right? Hang on, I'm gonna figure this out. It kind of makes me think that I need to add, I don't need to import. I'm not sure. Video is not defined, which means paginate is also not going to be defined. Okay, I might ask. Oh, this doesn't need to be here. That doesn't need to, I don't think that needs to be there. Yeah, hang on. Count and slice data is not defined. Um, because yeah, so that does need to be imported over here. Okay, count slice.js. Mm-hmm. I think it also, I don't think we need to count and slice anywhere else. Page is not defined. Oh, this has to be, yeah, I think this does have to be. If I screw anything else up, we're just going to ask Codex to take a look for us. Mm. So I think these are going to have to go in here. But they need to be global is the problem. If I put them inside this function, but I can still, if I put them in, I can't put them inside this function. They need to be, which is, Mm-hmm. Don't tell me. I know it's probably obvious to somebody else, but just give me a moment. Probably we just have to add this, right? Page is not defined. Okay, we're getting there. Hmm. Okay, I think I'm ready to ask Codex to help me just figure out the last couple pieces here. Maybe. Yeah, this is not getting the page variable. Maybe this was a bad idea. Maybe I should have stopped at the video. That's what I'm starting to think, is that I should have stopped at pulling out the video because I really needed some things to be global. Okay. We're gonna go back. Yeah, I think I'm not going to do a count and slice, and I'm not going to do a render projects because these functions are so incestuous at this point. What I really need is all I needed was to isolate that video. That is really all that I needed. So let's just control Z our way out of this. And then stop the hemorrhaging. I'm sure this can be refactored. All I need is that add video to be all I need is that add video to be its own thing so I can use it in the sidebar, and we're going to end there and not worry about it. So, sometimes this is what you have to do. This is like it has to get a little painful sometimes in order to figure out when to stop, when to keep going. So, this is good. We're not going to worry about this anymore. And Mavericken says, sorry, I need to go. I will watch this episode later. Have a good day. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. And Emilio is also here. Emilio is a mod in the chat as well. Welcome. Emilio found me when I had like, I don't know, 200 subscribers, something crazy like that. So appreciate the support. Thank you for hanging out with us. Okay, we're officially not worrying about it anymore. I'm sure there's opportunities for refactoring. You know what I think this would be? I think once I get a little more experience with my refactoring JavaScript, whatever you want to call it, I think this will make a great standalone video for the channel. Those videos actually do reasonably well. People like to see refactoring, reorganizing, especially JavaScript. People are into that. One moment, please. Sidebar. Let's work on our sidebar. So whatever we do in the sidebar on the home page, we have to duplicate our efforts over on the contact page. So for now, I'm just going to work on the home page. We're going to make sure it's all dynamic. So really all we would be doing is updating markup on the contact page, and it should just work, right? So let's do our video first. Let's make a sidebar module. Export init sidebar export function. Oops. And we need to make sure that we are importing our add video. Whoops. Actually, it's going to be export defaults. So this would not have brackets. All right, so importing our video. We want to make our, what do we call it? Video data. So our video data is going to equal can we do a for each with the add video function? Can we do, let's say it's an array, and then we'll do an object. Let's try it. The title is, I don't know what the title is yet, so we'll say this is the first title, and then it would be YouTube ID, and the YouTube ID is, you know, something like this. I don't know. So we'll have to go grab those. This is the second title. So here's our video data, which is an array. Can we do video data for each video add video. Is that allowed? Hang on here. Is this allowed? Let's find the actual. Oh, but what are we attaching it to? So we have to, what are we actually attaching this to? So right now, this is getting appended to something different. The article is, we're creating the article. I didn't think of that. Of course I didn't think of that. So I think we just have to figure out we return the article. Well, how do we do it in projects? the video gets right here. Okay, I can handle that. I can handle that. So here's our video data. So we need here's the sidebar. So let's do an aside with a class of sidebar. Sidebar item because we want any styling associated with that. But we're also going to add shorts video because it's a YouTube short. Actually, I want there to be a title. So we'll do an H3 with a class of tertiary heading. Boy, I hope you're following along. Because I feel like we're all over the place today and I'm trying to talk out loud. So, but I don't know. It's a quiet chat today, which makes me think that people are you're just chill. You're just chill. That's awesome. So, okay, we'll just say shorts videos until I find a better thing to call it. And then we'll do a div with a class of, we'll just say shorts. So any shorts that we render are just going to get appended to shorts. So we'll say const shorts is equal to document query selector. I'm having fun, by the way. If you're wondering, nobody asked. I'm having fun. So there's that. So here's what we're going to append this to. So let's just do, let's just make sure that if this isn't here, if no shorts, return little guard statement. And then let's go grab a couple of shorts. And we just need the title. We just need the title and the YouTube ID. So what's the best way to do this? Actually, the best way to do this is here. Thank you to whomever subscribed. See, I think it was literally a year before I started asking people to like and subscribe, and it turns out it works. All you have to do is ask. It's wild. It's crazy. So if you're a creator and you're like, oh, it is weird, it feels weird, yeah, it is weird. But I promise you, once you start doing it, once you start asking people to like and subscribe and you just turn it into a habit and you find a flow, it works. It really does. So, okay, what shorts would we like to put in here? Let's see here. I don't know. I kind of like this Happy DevOps Day shorts. I like it because I think my hair looks cute. Is that a good enough reason? Some of these things I'm just like, what was I even talking about in some of these? We could do Vanillus, it's probably hard to read. The world needs good front-end developers. Happy DevOps Day. I kind of like this one, not because, I mean, well, it got 1,000 views, which is good. I kind of like the deployment focused shorts, so let's do those. So we'll do this one first. And I'm just going to copy that link. So we'll do YouTube link. I don't really need this, but what I need is this right here. But it doesn't hurt to have the link as well. And then what's the actual title here? Happy DevOps Day. All right. And then let's do, should more front-end developers learn deployment? We'll do this. And we'll grab the link. Here's the short code, the ID. Okay. So now we have our videos picked out. Wonderful. Done with that. So then after I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. I think then after the for each, we would just say shorts append. Oh, we probably need this to be inside the for each. Shorts append. Oh, we probably just do this whole thing, right? Shorts append this. Wouldn't it be wild if we got this right on the first try? Stop it. Okay, we just need to style this, but this effing worked. So huge thank you to everybody who tuned into today's live stream. This is basically turning out to be a DevOps weekend, which I just think is so fun. It's some of the most, I have met a number of junior developers who don't think deployment is important and who sort of have the attitude. Okay, hang on. I don't think you guys can hear this. It's my own content, so I can play it. So let's see here. Hang on. So huge thank you to everybody who tuned into today's live stream. This is basically turning out to be a DevOps weekend, which I just think is so fun. I have met a number of junior developers who don't think deployment is important and who sort of have. What? Okay, all we need to do is style. Holy shitsies. How effing cool is this? We figured this out. This makes me so happy. Okay, this is so cool. So I will probably, once we get this styled, this just makes it so easy now to switch out the shorts, right? Because all I have to do is come into sidebar.js and put in the title and the YouTube ID for for the short that I want to swap out. That's all I have to do. Everything after this is just styling. So we'll go ahead and get these styled. This is the perfect segue into working on some styling. Well, no, okay, actually, we're going to style tomorrow because we need to figure out our reduce function. We need to count now. We need to do the counting. Okay, restraint. We're going to keep going on the sidebar. These work. This is beautiful. This is absolutely what I want. Clearly our SVGs and our play buttons are already styled, so we don't have to worry about those. We just need to style the iframes. So this is so cool, but let's keep going because we really need to get this counting figured out, and I have no idea how to do that. But I am so beyond thrilled that this works, that we pulled that video function out. We figured out how to make our own little array and for each through. This is just beautiful. Let's look at the DOM and just make sure that everything looks the way it's supposed to look. Beautiful. Everything after this is styling. That's it. All we have to do is style because we have a parent container called shorts. So this right here, we're going to change the aspect ratio from 16 to 9 to 9 to 16. Look at right there. That's literally the only thing that we need to do to style this. Everything else is styled. So huge thank you to every. I have met a number of junior developers who don't think deployment is important, and we could literally, that's the only thing that we need to do. So let's just do that now. It's nothing. So we're going to target the figure. So this is YouTube video figure. We'll go ahead and do shorts YouTube video figure, and we're just going to change the aspect ratio. That's all we have to do. And this completely holds up. I do think that we have to fix whatever's going on here with the styling and the borders. Oh, yeah, and obviously this is now getting targeted because we did this in the browser. So we will tighten up the CSS tomorrow, but this is perfect. This is perfect. And YouTube knows this is a short. It knows based on the code, so it gives it the shorts branding and everything. So let's just go over. This makes me so happy. Okay, YouTube right here. So we're literally just going to do this, shorts. We don't need that. Modular. That's what we want. What's happening here? Is this a favicon? I will make a favicon for the love of the traveling Mary. I will make a favicon. Beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted for my sidebar, was just a couple of shorts. Maybe I'll add a third one because now I have this perfect little system here. Oh, one moment. Hold, please. Runny nose. If I want to, I mean, I could also, like, once we're finished here, if I decide just to balance out this page that I want to add maybe one more short, I definitely could, right? So all I have to do is come right down here and we would have a third one. I might do that. So I'll take this out now. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, so what else do we need here? We're still inside of our function, our init sidebar function. So now we need to do the hard part, the reducing, to do the counting for the data, right? So that means that we need access to our data. So that's going to change this a little bit, isn't it? Because we have to do that, we have to count our data. Do we want to do that all here, or do we want to make a separate module for that? Not sure. I feel like we can just do this and this. And then in our sidebar, we just add data. Now we have access to our data, right? Whoops, what'd I do? Oh, there we go. And here's our data. Beautiful. That was easy. All right, so now we've got access to our data. So let's actually do that up here, right? Since it's going to be on top of the video. And real quick, I want to say hello to No Shame 67. Welcome. Happy to have you. Thanks for joining us. And you know what? We're about an hour and 20 in. Let me, I think there's never a bad time to say, hey, if you're new here, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't yet, would you be so kind as to like the video, subscribe if you're new? I would love to have you. So there's that. Okay, so now we want to take our data and reduce. I haven't done reduce in a while, so I actually want to look back at our GitHub because I have a repository for the JavaScript practice videos that I've done, and I have a lot of reduce stuff in there. JavaScript daily practice. So here's the thing. Oof, I need to get this updated. Reduce grouping, reduce challenge. You can do it, Angela. I believe in you. I think reduce is hard. There's an accumulator and an item. This is not the one that I want. This, okay. But here's the thing, I want two things. There's the date. Well, first of all, we have to format the date. So let's pull our data up. We're done with our video. We're done with our projects. So right now the date is ISO format. So I think the first thing that we need to do is we need two versions of the date. What I was envisioning for the sidebar is that in the current year, so 2026, the project count is based on the month. anything older than the current calendar year, so anything prior to 2026, I just want the count for the year. So we're counting twice. But I think in order to do this count, we need data with a formatted date first. So we have access to our data. Let's format the date and turn it into a new array. So the first array can just be the current year. The second array can be anything older than 2026. Right? Okay. So we know how to format a date. So let's do, we know how to format a date. Allow me to refresh my memory because we literally just did it right here. And if you're a new developer and you're like, how do I practice? What do I do to practice? Where do I, tell me what to do to practice? This is it, my friends. Grab a mock-up, start building it, have an idea for what you want to see happen on your page. This is the way you do it. Hold, please. Okay. So first, we're going to say let, not date style. I'm going to call it date month and date year. So we'll do date month first equals new date. Oh, and I guess we have to for each through this, right? Because data is an array. So we have to do data for each date. Let's call it item. So this is going to be the item date. Because that's what it's called in our little API. And then the date month is going to be equal to date month to, I'm going to use to locale string, English, US, and the month is, we use long here, but I'm going to do month, I think medium, narrow, or I have two options, or it looks like these are my options. Long, narrow, numeric, and short. Short. We'll do short for now. We have a lot of room in the sidebar. Maybe we should do long. We'll do long. And then the year is numeric. And we probably want to define this, right? So we'll say const month and year equals data. So this will be the first thing that we'll use reduce on. But also maybe we could filter this, or do we just want to do a filter first? I feel like we could filter this though, right? So what do we get if we console log date month? Show me what that is. So this is date month, get full year. I bet if we use the get full year method, now we can just go ahead and say if date month get full year is equal to well, it would be the current year. So how do we say the current year? Is there a method for the current year? New date. New date. Well, get full year is just 2026. So that would just be new date. If the, okay, hang with me. This is no different than doing a copyright statement. So we want the current year is equal to new date, get full year. So this is the current year. We don't need this. And we're going to use this for both of our arrays. Okay, so if the date month get full year is equal to the current year, then do this. Now let's console log date month. So my theory is that we are only going to see a month and a year for 2026. Yes, because I have not posted anything beyond February 2026. Beautiful. So now the date month array, well, we shouldn't have to do this inside here. We should just be able, should we be able to see this outside the if statement? I think so. No. Yes, right here. Wait, where's this other stuff coming from? Oh, it's also including this. Okay. Hang on. Like, give me a second to think about this. Well, couldn't I just say new? No, hang on. Don't tell me. I know it's probably obvious to every single person except for me. Hang on. Mm. Okay. And then it's showing everything else is undefined. Hang on. And also, this is not an array, so we have to make this into an array. So can't I just do equals an array? Okay. I feel like I'm so close. I need this to be an array. Oh, probably. We probably have to not do this inside the for each. So we should have, hang on. Don't tell me. What am I missing? I need to practice more. So we know that this has multiple values. I have to return a new array from a for each. Should I just be using map? Should I not be using for each? This makes me feel like I should be using map. Because I need to return an array, right? We're mapping new data. Yeah. This is what this is making me think. So, um yeah, let's do that. Okay, give me a second. So, I'm just going to say we're just going to say new. Yeah, because if we map, but do you want to reduce first and then, don't you want to reduce first and then map? But you have to count. You need reduce because you need to count. But I feel like we definitely need to do the mapping first. Because for each doesn't return a new array. For each just does something. And I need map because I need to return a new array. God damn it. I have not been practicing. I was practicing every single day in May. And then I wasn't in June because I was busy with client work. And I was like, oh, I'll get back to it. And now I'm just like, it's wild to me how I've forgotten everything that I learned when I was practicing my JavaScript every single day in June. So we'll say new dates. And we'll say data, map, item. Let's just go look at some of our practice mapping. Hmm. Object entries. Hmm. Okay. I mean, I don't think we need that here, but well, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So this was counting categories. But the data was already ready for that. That's why I feel like I have to map first. Because if this was for each, that just isn't how it works, right? New dates. You don't return anything in a for each, right? Yeah. Oh. Oh, stop, Angela. Yeah, it's undefined. It doesn't return anything because it's a for each. If this was just map, but that's not how map works. So, okay. So can't we just return? Well, we would just return date month. Oops. Okay, we're getting close. We at least have our array now. So now how do we make sure that we're excluding? So actually this is perfect. Will we even need reduce? No, I think we're still going to need reduce because we're going to reduce. We still have to be able to count, right? The date months. So we're going to do reduce after. So maybe, hang on, I'm thinking about this. Maybe everything is just date month. We count the things. But I think we want the date and the month to be separate. We don't want these things to be together. So maybe we get the month and the year as separate things instead of combining it like this. Yeah. So then we would have a month and a year as one object. Then we would reduce. This is a good one. This is a good one. Okay. So here's our current year. Great. So let's just get the month. So we're just going to get the month. We'll start with that. If, no, I think we still need, I'm going to call this, we'll go back to date style. Actually, that works pretty well. We'll call this the date style because we need to compare the date style in the data to the current year. So let's just no. New date here. There we go. So the current year and the data year. That's what it is. So if the data year is equal to the current year, so this would be const. So if the current year is equal to the data year, then we want the date month, which is just the long version of the month. Return the date month. Cannot access. Hang on. Oh, we still have to do this. New date item date. There we go. Okay, so we're getting our first 3 months for the current year. I mean, maybe we're not supposed to worry about this for now. Maybe we just need to get those months and we let the accumulator do the work. I mean, maybe this is all we're supposed to do. So let's take this out. We're getting there. We're so close. So now let's do let date year equal new date item date date year date year equals date year to locale string English US year long date year. Good idea. Switch into map, obviously. Hang on here. What do we do wrong? Date year, date year. Value long out of range. Oh, that's not. What is it? Numeric. Okay. Now we have a proper array with objects. We've got the month and the year. I feel like now we reduce I'm gonna take this out. Good move switching to map. Glad I had the foresight to do that. So what do we do? Do we do two reduce? I feel like we're probably going to end up doing two reduce functions. Also, I know you can map with, can we do everything with map? Do we have to reduce? Can you count? I mean, you don't have to use reduce, do you? I'm not opposed to it. I'm just trying to figure out if we can do everything inside this map. Hang on. To think about this for a second. Let's rest. Let's give our brain a little bit of a rest for a moment and think about this. Reduce is a really easy way to count things. Can't you count in map? I mean, is there anything wrong with just counting inside map? Is there anything wrong with just saying, is there anything wrong with just putting a little counter inside of an if statement? For example, counting the number of years. So we have 6 projects completed in 2024. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 projects completed in 2025. And then we have February 2026 would be 1, January 2026 would be 2. So maybe it's that I do all the counting and I decide what gets rendered, right? Because none of this is rendered. We're just building new arrays of data. So we've got our new dates. So now we take new dates and we do a reduce. Oh, hello. Andrew Irwin is here. Welcome. You're came at the right time. We're deep thinking. We're talking through a problem. So hopefully it's not too frustrating to watch. And I am just kicking myself because I was doing so good with my practice JavaScript, right? every day in June, I posted a video. I did tons of practice in May rather. And then in June, I didn't because I was busy with client work. And I'm just really kicking myself because a lot of what I learned, have already forgotten. Okay, so, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So, okay, so we have our new array, which is called new dates. I do think we should use our accumulator pattern. And we're gonna do reduce twice. The first is going to be to count all the months and all the dates, and the second is going to be to count just the years. I think we could probably do that. I mean, reduce does return a new array, right? New data group. No, it doesn't. It's object entries. That's fine. Okay, well, let's just get started and see how it goes. We have a new array though, so let's just start counting and see what happens. So we've got new dates, and I'm just referring back to my GitHub and some previous practice problems that I've done. So we know how to do an accumulator pattern, right? Accumulator item. We're going to count the number of, oh my gosh, we're going to count the number of months, and we're going to count the number of years. Hello, that's what we're going to do, because we've got both. We've got months and we've got years. Oh my gosh, that's one reduce. So let me find the right pattern here. Okay, well, let's just get started. Count new dates. New dates. Reduce. And it's accumulator and item. And we're going to say if there is no accumulator item, what? Let's do date month. Should we do date year or date month? I don't know if it matters. If there's no accumulator yeah, I think we will do this twice. So let's do the month first. Item, date month. What do we want to return? The date month. Accumulator, item, date month. Equals We're counting the number of months. So here we have priorities, high, medium, low. We're counting the number of so this would be like the number of, if it was a medium priority, how many are still open? Returning an object. So what am I counting? Based on the month. Should I be doing this by year? Oh my God. Based on the month. Yeah, this is a good one. This is where I took this data. I got the letter. And then I made a list, and everything with that letter was an array in the list. But I'm not doing that here. Okay, so what do I want this to be? It's an object. So I think I just want month. Let's go back. We start with a 0. We're literally counting. So we're going to start with a 0. I don't know if I'm doing this right. And then the accumulator pattern is accumulator. Whoops. Item. Month. Oh yeah. Item month. Oops. Here. Well, we'll find out. And then we return the accumulator. Well, and then let's console log. Count new dates. What do we think is going to happen? Okay, let's see here. Date month. Oh, oh, because I have to return, I think, new dates. Hang on. Oh, and I think I have to also return. Well, that shouldn't matter. You should still be able to see this, right? Count new dates. Hang on. Let's return everything down at the bottom. New dates. Count new dates. Oops. Okay. We're at the 2-hour mark. I might ask Codex for help with this. Hang on. I see what I did wrong here. Yes, I do. I see what I did wrong here. I got these backwards. December. Oh, but we don't care about, well, we care about how many. I am gonna ask Codex because I'm not in the mood to do a bunch of struggle session today. And clearly I need to go back to practicing this. And we have done an amazing job already today. So let's ask Codex to look at our, I think we did the map exactly right. I think reduce is a great way to do this counting. I'm at a loss for how to do it, and I'm tired of the struggle session. So let's ask Codex to take a look and help us out with their reduce function. Let me pull it up here. Okay. So here's Codex. We used Codex yesterday. It was amazing. So let's write our prompt. Please look at modules sidebar.js line 24. I'm trying to use reduce to count the months and years. Here's what I'd like to render. And then an example would be January 2026. How many are there? So we know that there's 2 for January 2026, 1 for February 2026. So we knew there's 2. No, there's 1. And then we know that in 2025, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2025, there's 11 projects. And in 2024, there's 6 projects, right? I think I mapped the data correctly. Now I just need to count it. I want to do the render function separately, and we can do that. Well, we'll do it today. I got nothing else going on. So we're gonna render today. I'm down for it because I think we're very close to this piece. I want to do the render function separately, unless you think, no, I'm not gonna leave it up to them. Okay, so please do not change any code. Please explain if this is the right approach or if I should have mapped my data differently. After we discuss, I will approve the changes. Okay, so here's our prompt. So let's ask Codex. Let's ask them what they think. Oh boy. Okay. Your map is valid, but it does a little more work than necessary. The main issue is how the accumulator is keyed in reduce. You want 2 different grouping rules. Yeah. Items from the current year group by month and year, such as January 2026. Items from earlier years group only by year, such as 2025. If you group only by item, date, month, all Januaries from every year would be combined. Instead, each item needs a grouping key. Item, date, year equals string current year. If the item, date, month, item, date, year, oh, okay, current year. So if it's the current year, then get the item, date, month, item, date, year, else get the item, date, year. Okay, the key, got it. Then the reducer can count each key. Look how simple that is. It would have taken, I think I could have gotten here eventually, but it would have taken me a while. That would produce an object shaped like this. And then we can just object entries for each through this. That would be so easy. Yeah, it only increments inside this condition. Yeah. That condition runs only the first time a month appears. Subsequent occurrences never get incremented. Return accumulator is also inside that condition. On the second occurrence, I need to go back to practicing because the accumulator function and reduce is so powerful, and I've completely forgotten how to use it. The increment and return accumulator therefore need to be outside the if. Regarding your map, keeping it is reasonable if you find the intermediate new dates array easier to understand and want counting and rendering to remain separate. I would make one small conceptual adjustment. Calculate current year once before map rather than once for every item. Fair. You could also skip map and derive the month and year directly inside reduce, but that combines date formatting and counting in one place. Since you're learning and want the rendering separate, your map then reduce approach is clear and appropriate. One additional issue to be aware of: this existing statement ends init sidebar immediately. Everything below it, including the new video rendering, is unreachable. Okay, we'll move that. But that is separate from counting, but it will matter once you add your render function. No code was changed. We're going to change it ourselves. So I like this. So let's put this all the way down. We are going to keep it separate because I'm still figuring stuff out. So I like this. So here's our key. Let's put these side by side. We're going to keep going. We're not leaving until this is done today. So look at this. Okay. Yeah. So we can pull this out. Item date year equals, oops, string current year, and then what did it say to pull? I actually don't think that we need this, and I think we can pull this out. So if I really don't like this that Codex does this. So the key is we're counting the key. Oh, based on the current year. Got it. I was trying to understand what the condition was. It's the current year. Item, date, month, item, date, year, else item date year. Okay, what don't you like? Oh. So there's our key. Now we do the accumulator pattern. So if there's no accumulator key, then accumulator key starts at 0. Accumulator key plus equals 1 increment. Now we should see this object, count new dates, as an object. Look at that. Now, I think we can just do count new dates as object entries. Let's see if we can console log that. So object entries, whoops. Now we have an array. Well, but this is an array of arrays. I think actually we would want to do the spread operator, right? Whoops, is not iterable. Oh, the spread operator is when you make a copy of an array. So we probably, can I just do that? No, it's still an object. Hang on. What's the thing that you do to turn an object into an array? I feel like I thought object entries was the way to do that. But that's an array of arrays. Is that what I want? Do I want an array of arrays? Maybe it is, because so we would for each through the new dates, and then we would for each the first thing and then the second thing in the parentheses. Yeah, I guess that does make sense. We want the count to be separate. Okay, I can live with this. Okay. So let's let Codex, God dang it, stop it. Okay, so let's thank Codex for its help and let him know that we did it ourselves. Thanks. I did it myself. Nice. Okay. Cool. All right, so now we are going to for each and render. And yeah, I know there's some extra steps here, but honestly, I'm good with this because we have exactly what we need now. So we're literally going to do this. Also, where are we going to put this? So let's look there. Let's look at our markup. So we really just want everything to be inside one UL, and it's going to look like this, right? So I think we need to Let's just give this a well, should we be creating? I think we have to create the UL because we need to attach it to something. So let's make a div and we'll call this the project count. A lot going on here today. So this is where we're going to append the unordered list. So let's do this. So we know what our markup looks like, and then we'll tuck this into our snippets folder when we're done. And then let's make sure that we're defining this. We need to do that first before our for each. I'm just going to call it the count list. And then let's make sure that it's there. Otherwise, we need to return. Ooh, but we don't want to, if we return, then none of this is going to work. Same with this. We probably shouldn't do a guard statement. We should just go ahead and do just a good old, just a garden variety if statement. So we're not killing the rest of the page, right? Yeah. And we'll do the same thing here. Which would really be, everything's going to be inside of this. So let's go ahead and create our unordered list. We don't need to give it a class. And then we will create our list item. I'm not going to give that a class. And then our list item, then we have to for each again because our item is also an array. So let's call these items. And then let's console log our items. Beautiful. That worked really well. I'm here for it. Okay, so now we're going to items for each item. Kind of feel like this should be inside here. Let's also create a span. And then our list item, li, the text content is going to be equal to the item, well, just the first item, right? And then our span text content is going to be And it'll be in backticks because we need it in parentheses. The second item. Well, we haven't actually rendered anything yet, so there's nothing to look at. Okay, and then the li needs to append the span, right? That span sits inside the li. And then we go out here and we say the ul appends the, whoops, the li. And then the count list appends the ul. Li is not defined. Hang on. Oh, this has to be created outside. And I don't think we need this anymore. And I'm just gonna... Okay. Count list append, probably. Okay. We're close. We're getting there. Undefined. Why are they undefined? Hang on. Don't tell me. I mean, we know that this works, right? Object entries, count new dates. We know that this works because we console logged the items. There's our items. What did I do? Did I do something wrong here? Oh, hang on. Well, if we're for eaching through, hang on. I think I did something, I'm overlooking something really basic. Tell me what just the item is. Yeah, first item, second item. Okay, I have too many console logs. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Does this need to be inside? Hang on. I feel like this needs to be inside here. What am I doing wrong? Hang on. Don't tell me. Oh, yeah, we probably don't need to do this. Okay, I get it. Hang on. I got it. We don't need to do a second for each. We can do this. And we can do this. Because each item is already an array. So we can get the first thing, we can get the second thing. And then I think this has to be outside. Yes. Good. Okay, hang on. We did it. We did it. It's backwards. It's backwards. That's okay. We're gonna flip it. We're gonna flip it. And we need a little formatting here, but that's okay. That's why we put in a span, because we can just style some space in there. So that's totally fine. Actually, we can do this. Boom. There's our space. Got it. And we just need to flip it. It needs to be in the other direction. So what do we do? Sort it? Did we have to? I think we have to maybe sort this first by year. We can do that. Although it's a little too late to sort this now, isn't it? We probably would want to sort this. Okay, let's clean some of this up. Let's put this in our snippets folder. We did it. We did it. Where's our snippets? Here. This is the sidebar count list. Okay. Good. Let's take out this console log. Well, good. That's one less for each that we need to do. That's good. This is certainly easy enough to just grab the first item and the second item. I feel like if we were gonna sort this, we need to sort here, don't we? We just need to flip the order. You can do it, Angela. I believe in you. So can't we just do sort item? What are we sorting? We're sorting. What is this? This is new dates. Okay, I guess I do want to see this. Console log. New dates. Hang on. Not this. Let's call this the mapped dates. Okay, so here's our mapped dates. We want to sort this by date, year. It's a string. It already has 2026 first, though. Why, if this has 2026 first, did that get flipped? So why is it... I mean, we don't need to sort this. This is already in the right order. So why does this in this order? This could be a good... Should we ask this question of Codex? If the item date year equals the current year, then get the date month and the date year. Otherwise, else get just the date year. So why does that do everything with just the date year first and then? So if I flip these, if I change the order of this, it's not really counting anymore now, is it? It's not doing what we asked it to do. The key is the date year. I think that's why. So the date year is always coming first. But can't I just, if we know that this just needs to literally be in reverse order, without like a particular sort, I mean, the sort is just literally reverse, but I don't know what the logic is. It's not alphabetical because this is literally... How do you just like reverse an array? That's literally all I want to do. Let's Google it. Let's make sure JavaScript. How to reverse order of array. Reverse? Reverse. Okay, wait a second. Let's go back here. Ask and you shall receive. To reverse the order of an array in JavaScript, use either the modern toReversed method to create a new reversed array or the traditional reverse method to change the array in place. That's all I want to do. Yeah, original to reversed. Let's see if this works. Okay. So we'll probably want to say something like const reversed equals object entries to reversed. I'll say reversed dates. Boom. That worked. Beautiful. I just want simple solutions. There it is. There's my project count. That's all I wanted. Okay. I'm going to leave some of these console logs in. We don't need to sort. I'll leave some of these in. They can just hang out here. Okay, good. Wow. This was fun. I enjoyed this. We're almost at 3 hours, but it felt like 20 minutes. I did enjoy this though. This was good. I'm glad I learned this. Did a little good old-fashioned Googling. Our videos are working. So do we want to return, is this a new array or do we need to like make a copy of that? Okay, to reversed returns a brand new array. Great. So we don't need to make a copy of that with like the spread operator. Leaving your original data intact. Good. I know that that's the preferred way to do that. I love it. I love it. Okay. Let's get this committed. We definitely need to do, yeah, tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be a great day we are officially at the point now. Clearly I'm going to be doing the about page and the contact page separately because tomorrow we're going to do a QA and CSS day and then we're moving on to the next project. So I will come back. We'll put in something like coming soon or whatever. I'll put some contact information on the contact page until I get to things. We're moving on. We're officially done after tomorrow with this. Yeah. So the timing is perfect. We're going to do a QA and a styling cleanup day tomorrow. We'll get the final, whatever we end with tomorrow, we will get deployed. And then we're going to move on. It's good timing. I'm very happy with what we got done here today. We had a good weekend. We had a good 3 days. Friday, yesterday, what did we do yesterday? I think we figured out, oh yeah, the load more and how it all worked together with the filtering. That was a great day yesterday too. Sidebar videos and project count. Okay. I know I said we were going to do some QA today. It's going to be tomorrow. So I'm just pushing to our integrations branch, which means that we will QA the GitHub page and then we'll do a pull request and we will merge to our main branch and DigitalOcean. Good. Let's take a look. One moment, please. Runny allergies, runny nose today, man. Okay. Um, I love it. This is exactly what I wanted because as I continue to stream and as we continue to build more projects, I really don't want more than the current year count to be visible. After the current year passes, I think it's okay to just count the number of projects per year. And then that is going to keep this very manageable. This is going to be a very manageable list. Um, yeah, tomorrow's going to be a great day for styling and just tidying things up, checking on mobile, checking on, um, we'll check on my phone. Yeah. And Solo Clips was also here in the chat. Sorry, Solo Clips, I didn't get to you earlier. I'm doing well. Thank you for joining. Do me a favor if you haven't yet, would you be so kind as to like and subscribe? It helps the algorithm, helps get this type of content pushed out to more people who might enjoy front-end development, and I would appreciate it so much. I think that's it. I think we're done for today. This was super fun. Um, Thanks for coming along coming along on the ride with me. So, and I think that this is such a great use of Codex to sort of dive into something, and I think you get to a point where you're like, okay, I need a little help now. In the past, we would be on Stack Overflow or Googling, right? Hoping that somebody else had a blog post or ask the same kind of question. Now we can point Codex to it and say, hey, can you check this thing? Explain to me why this isn't working and what I need to do to get it working. It's just such a beautiful use of AI and Codex and ChatGPT to just look at it and tell me why it doesn't work and what I need to do to improve it. Give me some suggestions. So I'm happy with that. Everybody, have a great rest of your day wherever you are. I will see you tomorrow. We're going to finish this up. Bye-bye.